Hey y'all, Emily Davis here with the Win Crew. Today I'm going to walk you through a practice listing presentation. And so, a couple of things I want to talk about before we actually get into the Win Crew's listing presentation. Of course, before you go on the listing appointment, you have pre-qualified the seller. We have a script specifically for that so that you can be prepared for the appointment. You have confirmed the appointment multiple times. And so now what I am running through today is when you're actually sitting in front of the seller at the listing appointment, how we work through our listing presentation. Okay, so there's many other components to the listing presentation, but I'm just gonna work through our packet here. So just remember a couple of steps before you actually get to the appointment. Once you get to the appointment, the first thing that I usually do is have them work on the seller's disclosure while I give myself a tour of the home. It's a little risky to have the seller take you around the home, depending on the personality type, because it could end up taking quite a while if they have a lot to share about the home. And I just tell them that I want to see it from a buyer's perspective. They're not going to be there to tour the home for buyers, and so I want to see it for myself without them telling me all the great things about the house. I want to be able to really see it from a showing perspective. And so I will ask them to work on the seller's disclosure while I tour the home, confirm some details and facts that I have already asked them about before the listing. And then when we come back together, they will be finishing up the seller's disclosure and I will start working through the listing presentation. Usually when I get to the end of the listing presentation, I will move into pricing. So I will present the CMA that I have brought for the property, and then I will handle any objections that they might have and close for the listing. Okay, so we're gonna kind of skip ahead on those first few steps. I'm sitting down, let's say, with the seller at the kitchen table, and I'm getting ready to present our listing presentation to them. So Mr. and Ms. Seller, thank you so much for joining us and letting me come out today to see the house. I'm really excited to have the opportunity to work with you all. It's such a privilege that you all have reached out to us. I know that you said you have heard a little bit about the Win Crew, but I wanted to share more about us, kind of how we operate, how we do what we do, and why we have been able to have so much success over the last several years. So jumping right in, our mission here at the Win Crew is to sell your home for as quickly as possible for the most amount of money. And we also want to make it as convenient as possible for you. We understand that selling your home can bring a lot of chaos, and so we want to try to make this as smooth and as simple for you as possible. As far as the Win Crew, one of our big advantages here is that we are, more than the majority of us, are very local. So most of us are from here or around the area, so we have a lot of local knowledge and expertise. And that is great for knowing about certain areas, neighborhoods, resale value, things like that, but also having great connections in the community. So we have great connections to lenders, we have personal experience with title companies, we have contractors, painters, whatever you might need, we have a contact for that we've had a personal experience with, and we're able to recommend to you with good faith. So we have very strong Bowling Green roots here, and that's a great advantage that we have for you. Moving into the structure of how the Win Crew is set up. So we have really two different departments. We have front-end sales, and then we have back-end support. So our front-end sales team is all of our agents that are out in the field buying and selling homes, okay? So we have about 20 plus agents right now that are currently doing that. So when you hire the Win Crew, my name will be on the sign, but you will have the network and marketing of 20 other agents as well. So from a listing perspective, when we find out that your home is going to be hitting the market, there's a good possibility that within the network of 19 other agents, we may be able to find you a buyer even before the home hits the market. And also from an advertising perspective, your property is going to be advertised to all 19 of these other agents' databases, Facebooks, Instagrams, etc. So really hiring me to work for you, but you are getting the advantage of having multiple agents working for you. As far as back-end support, this is really what separates us from other similar teams, or especially from single agents. So our back-end support is consistent of our office staff, our marketing team, and our transaction coordinator. So our marketing team is consistent of a marketing director, and then we also have an in-house photographer and videographer and a social media manager as well. So their job is full-time is to put your house in front of as many people as possible and simply work to sell your home, maximize the marketing experience. Okay, so the idea with this is that instead of me wearing 20 to 30 hats, doing everything from pricing your home, putting pictures online, taking pictures, putting a sign in the yard, answering calls, setting up showings, running open houses, doing marketing campaigns, I can do a couple of those tasks from that list, and I can specialize and do those things really well. And then our marketing team can do several of those tasks and really specialize and do those well. Our transaction coordinator can do a few of those. So everybody is wearing a few hats and really specializing in their job just to be as efficient as possible and make sure that you have the best experience. Our transaction coordinator does a lot of our paperwork. She does a lot of communication with lenders, title company, even the co-agents, inspectors, things like that, to make sure that we are getting you to the closing table smoothly and we're hitting all of our deadlines along the way. Okay, as far as what the Win Crew can offer, first thing is first, every listing that we take with the Win Crew, every seller that decides to work with us gets a free 6-month home warranty. So for the coverage of your listing, all of our listing agreements are 6 months, you will have that home warranty coverage. So if something goes wrong during that time, we can call the home warranty company, see if that's something that they would be willing to take care of. I know you had mentioned that you are interested in selling your home and then potentially buying another home here in Bowling Green. And so for that, we actually have a program called Move Up Buyer. And so what we would like to do is basically just say thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to work with you, not only once on the sale, but twice on the purchase. And that's a huge deal, and we really appreciate that. And so to say thank you, we want to give you a 1% rebate back on the purchase of your home. And so when you go to purchase, that 1% rebate can be used towards closing costs, prepaids, anything like that. Okay, moving into a little bit more into our marketing program here. When we are listing and selling your home, we have 3 key objectives. So 3 things that we're really keeping in mind here is the pricing of your home. And so I did bring a CMA, and we're going to walk through that in detail about the market value of your home. And we're also going to talk about why it's so important to to price the home correctly, what advantages there are to pricing correctly, and how do we know that we are priced correctly. There's also the timing of your home. So this is not only how quickly we sell your home, but also the time of the year. What is the market like? What's the other competition? Some other factors that we need to consider there as far as timing. And then the last one is convenience. We obviously need it's of high priority to us that we make this as convenient as possible for you, and so we're really considering that in our marketing plan as well. So before I jump into our 21-point system, I want to give you a little insight into why we do what we do here at the Win Crew and why we strategize the way that we do. You can see here on the pie chart that over half of buyers find their home via an internet source. And then another third or quarter of the pie is that buyers find their home through a real estate agent. And so by hiring us as digital marketing specialists, you are covering 2/3 of that pie really well, okay? Because that's our specialty, is internet marketing, digital advertising. Now we're still gonna do all of these other things mentioned as well. We're gonna have print flyers, we're gonna put signs in your yard, we're gonna do open houses, things that maybe would be considered a more traditional marketing approach. We're still gonna do those things, but we're gonna pour the majority of our time and effort and dollars where we know we're gonna get the most return and find the most eager buyers. So we spend probably $10,000 to $15,000 a month on marketing, and we just want you to know we are chasing after the sources and strategies that we know provide the most buyers for your home. So moving into our 21-point marketing system, we have it broken up into a couple of stages: before we list your home, when it actually hits the market, and then once it is on the market after it's been listed. So I'm just going to hit on a couple of these points with each stage. I'm going to leave this with you, so you're welcome to look through to get in detail and follow up with any questions you may have. But I'm just going to highlight some of the higher priority, or some of my favorite items as well, that I think you'll find the most beneficial. So obviously we talked about strategic pricing, just the importance of pricing. Again, we're going to dig into that a little bit more. But there's always 2 reasons a home hasn't sold, and it's either price or condition. So those are 2 things we always want to really maximize and make sure that we're doing well. Professional color photography. We do, again, have an in-house photographer and videographer, so we do get professional color photos inside and outside the home. Again, because they are in-house, our scheduling is usually very convenient for you as a seller. We don't have to go to a third-party company to get those things scheduled. We're able to be pretty available for you and really work around your schedule, having that in-house connection. Once we list your home, some things that we're going to do immediately. So when your home hits the MLS, it's going to go to all of the third-party sites, which are Zillow, Homes.com, and Realtor.com. Now this will happen with every agent, but what we're going to do, is we're going to take it a little step further. Okay, so once your home hits the market, it goes to those third-party sites. We're going to start tracking the digital foot traffic per se for your listing. So how much activity is it getting online? And every 2 weeks, we're going to send you an update of what kind of activity and traffic we have had on these websites and then also on our social media as well. So we just want to take it a little step further, provide that information for you so that we can use that as a gauge for how we need to tailor the marketing experience. Do we need to make any changes if the activity is declining? And that could be everything from maybe updating the photos, changing the price, hosting an open house, whatever it may be. Of course, we're going to put a sign in the yard for you, and that will actually have a flyer box on it where we will have some print color flyers. Between the sign and the flyers, there will also be a 24-hour line that buyers can call in. They can get recorded information about the home any time of day, and then it will capture their information, and we can call them back and try to schedule a showing with them if they're still interested. As far as social media, I know I mentioned this as well. We are huge on social media, so if you don't follow us on Facebook or Instagram, I would encourage you to do so. We have a big following there, and this is really the direction that advertising and sales is moving, and so we pour a lot of effort and energy into making sure that we get your home a lot of exposure on those sites. We also do YouTube and Facebook Marketplace, and then we also are on Craigslist as well. Not only will your home be featured on my social media and the team social media, but your home will be featured on all other 19 agents' social media as well. So we're really hitting a lot of different networks here and a lot of different groups of people for massive exposure. One of my favorite features of the Win Crew and one of the best parts of our marketing experience and exposure is our database. And so when the team was created several years back and we created our first website, we began tracking everyone that ever came to the website, and we were able to capture the information about what they were looking at. Were they looking at 3-bed, 2-bath? Were they looking in South Warren or Alvaton? Were they looking at something with a half an acre or 2 acres, let's say? So we could track and see exactly what people were looking at. So when your home hits the market, we will target our database that has over 80,000 people, and we will let everybody know that there is a new listing on the market. But then from there, we're going to get really specific with the database. So we're going to start targeting people within the database that we know have looked for similar homes to yours. Maybe they have similar square footage, a similar area, similar price point. And so we're going to start putting your home via email in front of those people repeatedly. But then we're also going to turn your home into a Facebook ad and place it in front of them as well. So we're going to target the people that we know are appropriate buyers for your home. Okay. Of course, we will offer open houses as well. That is something we offer on the weekends, usually Saturday and Sundays. If you are open to that, we would love to do that as well. Okay, so after your home is listed, we continue with that marketing program. One of the things that we can do is canvassing your neighborhood, and that could actually be twofold. That could be door knocking or sending handwritten notes or postcards. Not because we think your neighbor is going to purchase your home, but we think that they may know someone who's interested in moving to the area. And we love a nosy neighbor. We love a neighbor who wants to tell everybody about your property that's for sale. We will also come back and do a couple of different video tours for your home. This could include a Zillow 360, which is a virtual walkthrough tour specific for Zillow.com. This would also include a Matterport, which is another virtual walkthrough tour. That is a universal format, so we can use that for Facebook, text message, email, etc. And then also we will do some short form videos for social media as well, including an agent and also not including an agent. So an agent can be in the videos talking about their favorite feature of the home, maybe talking about kind of the highlight spot in the home, or maybe the 3 favorite features of that home per se. And then we will also have some videos that do not include an agent that just give a fluid walkthrough of the home so that people can see how does this room transition to the next, and what does the floor plan really look like. Just kind of gives them an insight that maybe photos won't, okay? So you can see there, we've got some examples of some of those media pieces that we shoot for every home. The photography, that virtual tour that I discussed, also the agent content, again, that can be short form or long form for social media. And then we also offer drone footage if you have a larger amount of acreage here, or maybe a really attractive outside setup that we want to feature, we can offer that as well. Kind of wrapping up there, I mentioned before, sending you those bi-weekly emails about updates on the market, and using that to really tailor your marketing experience and your listing experience to attract the most amount of buyers. So we want to make sure that we are really looking at the activity that is specific to your home and figuring out how we can maximize our marketing based on that. Okay, so on the next page here, you'll see just a quick overview of everything that we offer with our 21-point marketing system compared to what maybe a single agent would offer. We just want to give you a quick overview to see the excessive value there that we provide. The next page just shows our third-party affiliates that we've mentioned before, that's Zillow, Realtor.com, and Homes.com. Okay, so moving into the pricing of your home, as I had mentioned, I have brought a CMA, which is a comparative market analysis, that shows us the market value of your home. Not my opinion or thought, but based on similar sales in the area, what your home is worth. It's kind of like a simplified appraisal. And so we will walk through that here in just a moment, but talking about pricing your home correctly, some key market factors that we're going to consider. There's things that we can control, which is price and condition, availability of the home for showings even, and then there's things that we can't control. So the time of the year, the current market, what the other competition is like, interest rates, things like that. So what we want to do is really maximize and do a great job of the things that we can control. So we want to price well and really have a top-notch condition so that we can combat those things that we can't control, okay? As far as pricing, again, kind of want to give you some reasoning about why market value is such a powerful number for your home and why pricing correctly is the most important thing to do. So you can see there that 60% of buyers purchase at market value, okay? If we move up on that pyramid, yes, we could potentially get you more money, but we're really decreasing the number of buyers that we can reach if we overprice your home. Now, if we go in the opposite direction and we price it below market value, we're not keeping our promise to you because we promise to maximize your profit and get you maximum exposure. So yes, we may reach more buyers, but we're going to leave some money on the table for you. At the bottom there, you can see with timing. Now this graph shows if someone just had a traditional marketing plan, they didn't have our 21-point system, you can see that typically after 3 to 4 weeks, there's a drop off in activity and then things kind of plateau there. What we want to do with our 21-point system is strategically release new content and implement the 21-point system so that that activity stays high for as long as possible. Even with our system, it's proven that the first several weeks of the listing provide the most digital and physical foot traffic. And so what we want to do is not miss out on that window. And if we are not priced correctly, by the time we get to the appropriate market value, it's probably been a couple of weeks and we've missed out on that window to attract the most amount of buyers. So pricing well right out of the gate ensures that we're going to get the most activity as quick as possible. Moving into just some things that you can do to get your home ready to sell. Obviously interior and exterior, we really want to, again, maximize the conditions so that we create a great showing environment. It's very warm and welcoming. And buyers can really envision themselves here in your home. So some things inside that you can do: declutter, clean off countertops, bedside tables, things like that. Do a little bit of a spring cleaning or a deep cleaning if it's spring or fall. Neutralizing your decor, really simplifying things just so a buyer can cast their vision on the home as well. And then outside, you can do things like pressure washing your siding or driveways, walkways, freshening up your landscaping with new mulch, maybe touching up a porch if you have a wooden deck, things like that. Touching up your fence, maybe it needs some fresh paint or pressure wash as well. Again, we want to create the most curb appeal and then really create a warm, inviting environment inside. As far as for a showing, setting up for a showing, we obviously want to make sure that the home is clean and prepared. We want to turn on all the lights, open up the blinds, maybe even play some soft music, light a candle, things like that. Again, moving along, once you accept an offer on your home, we will move into things like inspections, appraisal, things like that. So we wanted to just give you kind of a heads up of what is coming next, just so you could be prepared. And we're going to walk you through these things step by step when we get to that point, but we wanted you to just have kind of a 30,000 foot view of what that process will look like once you do accept an offer on your home. One thing to keep in mind with inspections is marking off deferred maintenance if possible ahead of time. So if you have things like maybe a loose door handle or a light fixture that's not working, or you need to add some gutter downspout extensions, some simple deferred maintenance items like that, checking those off early can really save you a lot of headache at the time of the inspection. So make a list of those things, kind of handyman items that you can go ahead and take care of, and then we won't have to worry about them later on the inspection. Okay. Again, giving you some information about closing, just what to expect, what that process looks like. We will walk you through that in detail when we get to that point, but just wanted you to have kind of a heads up of what that will look like. The presentation wraps up here with some information about the Wynn Crew. There's reviews, some information about our production in the last several years. If you know someone that's ever worked with the Wynn Crew, we would encourage you to ask them about their experience. Check us out online, again, on social media. Zillow, even, you can see reviews and just kind of fact check us and see what other consumers are saying. And now I would like to move into the pricing of your home. So I'm going to show you the CMA and we will walk through that as well. Okay guys, so at this point I would present the CMA to them. I would walk them through a couple of closed options that I have, 1 or 2 under contracts, and then 1 or 2 actives as well within that home valuation. And then I will handle any objections that they might have and close for the listing. Hopefully this has been helpful. Again, I was just walking through the listing presentation there. This is how I would present this to a seller at the listing appointment after I've already pre-qualified them. I've taken a tour of the home while they are working on the seller's disclosure. And then again, I can handle any objections about this and close for the listing. Hope this is helpful. Y'all have a great day.